The sky was dark. Smoke filled the air. Fire burned across the green jungle trees. Something had fallen from the sky, a ship. And inside that ship was someone very important. Corporal Marcus Hayes moved quietly through the thick jungle. His boots stepped carefully over broken roots and hot ash. His rifle was ready. His eyes were sharp. He was a soldier of the United Nations Expeditionary Forces, part of a small human team sent to search the crash site. The enemy had already been here. The signs were clear: laser burns, broken weapons, and tracks. But there was something strange. 2. The wreckage was virulent Tekalian, silver-blue metal, shaped like a leaf. Marcus had seen it before. Only one kind of alien flew these ships. Base to base. Marcus whispered into his radio. Found the wreck. No survivors so far. Still searching. Static answered him, then silence. Damn. Signals jammed again, he muttered. He stepped into the ruined ship. It had crashed, hard trees, broken earth torn up. The inside was full of smoke and sparks. Panels had exploded. Bodies lay still on the floor, alien guards in black armor. Checked them all. Dead. Marcus moved deeper. Wasn't expecting to find anyone alive, but then he heard it. A soft sound, breath, a whisper. He spun around, weapon raised. There, behind a broken control panel, was a girl. It's not human. She was thin, wearing silver armor, cracked and dirty. Her skin was a pale lavender, her long hair a mix of silver and blue. She had small glowing tattoos under her eyes. She stared at Marcus with wide, frightened eyes, and he knew her face. He had seen it in briefings, in news reports. Kalira, said, lowering his weapon. She tried to speak, but coughed instead. Her lips were dry. She was hurt, blood on her side. Her leg twisted under her. Hey, Marcus said gently, kneeling beside her. It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm human, yes, but I'm not your enemy. Her eyes blinked slowly, looked confused, but she didn't try to run. Marcus pulled out a small water pouch. Here, drink. She hesitated, then took a sip, trembling. Her voice came out soft and hoarse. You are not with the Draken. No, Marcus said. We're with the UNX. Neutral. We came because your ship crashed. We were told you were on board. I was, she said weakly. We were attacked. Ambush. He nodded. Yeah, looks like it. Marcus tapped his comm. Still no signal. We need to get out of here, he said. The area isn't safe. If the Draken shot your ship down, they'll come looking. Kalira tried to sit up, her face twisted in pain. I can't walk. Marcus looked around. All right. Carry you? You would help me? He shrugged. You're injured. You're royalty. If I leave you here, your empire might declare war. So yeah, helping you seems like the smart move. A tiny smile crossed her lips. Marcus wrapped her in an emergency blanket and lifted her gently. She was light, but every step was hard. Jungle was thick, and he had to move fast. He kept low, quiet. Enemy patrols might be nearby. Kellara leaned against him, weak but awake. Why do you fight in this war? She asked softly. I don't, Marcus answered. Humans aren't part of your war. We're peacekeepers, observers. We try to stop things from getting worse. She looked confused. Then why risk your life for me? He sighed. Because sometimes one life matters more than orders. They reached a small cave behind a waterfall. It was safe for now. He set her down, checked her wounds, and gave her a pain patch. Her body relaxed. She fell asleep quickly. Marcus stood guard at the entrance, rifle ready. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Kalira woke up stronger. You stayed, she said. I said I would. You are. Different from what I was taught, she said. How so? We were told humans are wild, dangerous, greedy, but you are kind. Marcus chuckled. We're not perfect, but we try. Helped her up slowly. She still couldn't walk well. Her leg was badly swollen. He built a stretcher from branches and rope. We're heading north, he said. There's a UN outpost about 40 clicks away. If we make it, you'll be safe. And if we don't, he looked at her. We will. Next 2 days were hard. They traveled through rivers, climbed rocks, and hid from patrols. Twice, enemy scout drones passed overhead. Marcus covered Kalira with leaves and heat blankets to hide her signature. They didn't talk much. Trust grew. At one point, Kalira tried to walk on her own. She fell. Marcus caught her. "You're stubborn," he said. "I'm royalty." She replied with a small grin. "We don't give up," he smiled. "Good, because I need you to stay alive." That night they camped on a cliff. Stars filled the sky. Kalira looked up. "Do you miss Earth?" "Yeah," Marcus said. "I miss the rain, the food, my mom's voice. But this job, it matters." She was silent. Then asked, "Do you believe peace is possible? With people like you, maybe?" The final stretch was the hardest. They were close to the outpost. But enemy soldiers were blocking the path. Full squad. Marcus studied them from a ridge. "Too many, we need to go around." Kalira shook her head. "I will distract them. You run." "No way," Marcus said. "Or the mission." "I am a symbol," she said. "But you have a soldier's heart. You protect, even those not your own." Marcus took her hand gently. "I didn't come this far to leave you behind. We do this together." He waited for nightfall. Then, using smoke grenades and sound lures, he created a diversion. They slipped through the trees during the chaos. Finally, they reached the edge of the jungle. In the distance, Marcus saw the lights of the UN outpost. He dropped to his knees. Exhausted. Kalira looked at him, her voice full of wonder. "You didn't know?" he said with a smile. "We did it?" As they walked toward the gate, guards ran forward, shocked to see them. Marcus turned to her. "Time to go home, princess." She looked at him, eyes shining. "I never thought my home would begin with a human." The gates of the UN outpost opened slowly. Soldiers in white armor rushed out. Their eyes widened when they saw what Marcus carried. Princess Kalira alive. Medic teams pulled out stretchers and scanners. They tried to take her from Marcus, but Kalira grabbed his hand. "No," she said weakly. "He stays." Marcus nodded. "I'll go with her." One of the officers stepped forward. "Corporal Hayes, report. I found the princess at the crash site. Injured. Carried her through enemy territory. We were hunted. The jungle's crawling with Draken patrols." The officer frowned. "You were ordered to report back. There was no signal. And I wasn't going to leave her behind." The officer looked like he wanted to argue, but Kalira spoke. "This human saved my life. If not for him, I would be dead. His courage must be rewarded, not questioned." The officer fell silent. Kalira was taken to the medical tent. Her wounds were treated. Her leg was placed in a biocast. But her mind remained sharp. Marcus was checked, 2 burns, bruises, and a few cracked ribs. But he refused rest until he knew Kalira was safe. After a short nap, he visited her. Kalira sat on a bed, looking stronger. Her silver blue hair was clean now, and her skin glowed faintly in the room's soft light. "You look better," Marcus said. She smiled. "And you look like you fought a mountain," he chuckled. "Felt like it." There was silence for a moment. "Thank you, Kalira," said softly. "You could have left, but you stayed." "Why?" Marcus sat down. "I saw you, scared and alone. I've seen enough war to know what happens to people when others look away." She looked at him. "But you're different, Marcus Hayes. Not like others." He shrugged. Maybe I just did what anyone should." Later that day, Marcus was called into a meeting. Inside a steel-walled room sat 3 people. Commander Rourke, Unforce's Ambassador Drion, a tall alien with green skin, representing the virulent Empire advisor Velk, a short, thick-headed Draken diplomat. Kalira was there too, sitting straight, her royal robe over her armor. Commander Rourke spoke. "Hayes, your actions may have just stopped a war." Ambassador Drion nodded. "Our enemies believed Kalira was dead. That belief gave them boldness. But her return changes everything." Advisor Velk hissed. "Princess was found inhuman. Care, how do we know you didn't take her? Kalira stood up. Enough. I was shot down, my guards died. This human Marcus Hayes had found me, saved me, and carried me across the wild to safety. You will not twist this story. Velk fell silent, but his eyes burned with anger. Marcus looked at the room. What now? Drain replied. We must get the princess back to her empire. Her people think she is dead. If they learn the truth, they will stop the attack. But the jungle is crawling with Draken soldiers, Rourke said. Air routes are blocked. Teleports can't lock onto signals near the crash zone. There's only one path, Kalira said. The mountain trail through the valley. Old, dangerous, but it leads straight to the Virulon border. Commander Rourke looked at Marcus. You know the terrain. You've done this once already. Marcus nodded slowly. I'll take her. That night, Marcus packed supplies, rations, water, stun grenades, a new rifle. As he checked his gear, Kalira entered. She now wore a dark travel suit, fit for battle but marked with royal symbols. You're really coming? Marcus asked. She raised an eyebrow. You think I'll stay behind while you risk your life for me again? He smirked. Didn't say that, just surprised. She walked closer. You said it yourself. One life matters. That means yours too. I'm not a helpless girl anymore. He nodded with a grin. Good, I'll need the help. The next morning, they left before dawn. A small dropship carried them to the edge of the jungle. After that, it was all foot travel, no tech, no signals, nothing that could be traced as they walked. The jungle greeted them again with thick vines, strange sounds, and heavy heat. This time, Kalira kept pace beside him. Her leg was healing, and she moved with more strength. They talked as they walked. Back in your world? She asked. What did you want to be before you became a soldier? Marcus thought. A pilot. I loved the skies. But school was expensive, so the first joined the military. They paid for flight training, but I stayed groundside. She nodded. My world, I was trained to speak. Smile, rule. But I always wanted to explore the stars, not sit on a throne. They looked at each other, surprised by how alike they felt, despite being from different worlds. That afternoon, a storm rolled in. Rain poured. Lightning flashed. They found shelter under a large root cave, deep in the jungle, as they dried there. Gear Kalira spoke quietly. Do you think our kinds could ever be friends? Truly, Marcus answered after a pause. It depends on people like you and people like me, who are willing to fight for peace, not just survival. She smiled. Then we must lead by example. The next day, trouble came. As they crossed a river, blaster fire cracked from the trees. Go, Marcus shouted, pulling Kalira behind a boulder. I'll cover now. No, she said. Together. They fought back side by side, Marcus firing shots, Kalira throwing flash spheres from her belt. Draken fell. The rest retreated. Kalira looked at Marcus, breathing hard. You fight like fire, and you throw a good flash bomb. He replied, smiling, but the message was clear. The Draken knew their path. Later, they reached the base of the Forbidden Mountains. The air was colder. The trees were twisted. Old ruins poked from the groundstone walls with strange carvings. Kalira stopped. These are ancient places, before even my empire. Marcus looked around. They give me the creeps. As they entered a stone gate, the air shimmered. A strange pulse hit them both. Kalira gasped. The stones. They're reading us. Marcus looked at his wrist pad. Sensors are dead. But there's power here. He found a chamber deep inside, full of glowing crystals and floating lights. Suddenly, a voice echoed. Strange, alien, but warm, human. Welcome back. Marcus blinked. What was that? Kalira looked at him in shock. It recognized you. He stepped forward. The crystals pulsed with light. A map formed in the air showing the galaxy, the Virulon Empire, the Draken territories, and Earth. You were expected, Kalira whispered. Long before now. Marcus touched a crystal. A door opened in the wall. A hidden path forward? Looks like we found a shortcut, he said. Kalira nodded. but also a mystery. As they left the ancient chamber and moved toward the valley, Kalira said, "This place, it reacted to you. It's not me. It's not my people." "Why?" Marcus didn't answer right away. "I don't know. But maybe humans have a bigger part in this galaxy than anyone expected." She looked at him with new eyes. Not just a soldier now, but something more. As night fell, they camped at the valley entrance. Marcus built a fire. Kalira sat beside him. "I used to think humans were just loud creatures who wanted space," she said. "And I thought aliens were all politics and lasers." Marcus replied. They both laughed softly. But now Kalira added, "I see more. Bravery, kindness, heart." Marcus looked into the flames. "Same here." She placed a hand on his. "Thank you. For not just saving me, but walking beside me." He met her gaze. "We're not done yet." The morning air in the mountains was cold and thin. Fog drifted between the stone cliffs like ghostly rivers. Marcus tightened the straps of his pack and helped Princess Kalira step over a frozen log. They'd climbed all night, following the ancient stone paths shown by the glowing map inside the ruins. "This place feels old," Marcus said, glancing at the strange carvings on the walls around them. Kalira nodded. "Older than both our species. My teachers called this place the Path of Silence, a forgotten world." "But the tech inside reacted to me," Marcus said. "Why me? I don't know," she replied. "But maybe someone wanted humans to find it one day." They reached a narrow bridge made of stone and roots. Below it, mist covered a deep canyon. One wrong step could mean death. "Stay close," Marcus said. Kalira grabbed his arm. "I trust you." Carefully, they crossed together, step by step. A gust of wind nearly pushed Marcus off, but Kalira pulled him back. When they finally made it across, they both laughed from relief. Later that day, they found another ancient structure half buried in the rocks. It looked like a temple, with tall pillars and a sealed door covered in symbols. "This wasn't on the map," Marcus said. He placed his hand on the door. The stone glowed on. The door opened with a low hum. Kalira stepped back. "Only you can open it." Inside, they found a room full of strange machines. Lights blinked. Energy flowed through crystal veins in the floor. In the center was a tall column with a circular panel. Marcus walked up to it. As he touched it, the room changed. A soft voice echoed in his head. "Human pattern confirmed. Earth origin. Access granted." A hologram appeared showing star maps, alien cities, and ancient battles. Kalira stepped beside him, eyes wide. "These aren't just memories. They're records." The voice spoke again. "In the time before empires, we seeded the stars with life. Humans were scattered last, hidden. A final hope if others failed." Marcus was stunned. They were watching. "Earth, yes," Kalira whispered. "And you were part of a greater plan." The lights dimmed. One final image appeared. An ancient war, planets burning, fleets destroyed. One by one, great civilizations fell. Then came silence. The voice faded. "Should war rise again, the key shall awaken in human hands." Marcus backed away slowly. "I don't want to be anyone's key." Kalira put a hand on his shoulder. "You already are." That night they camped near the temple. The stars above were bright and clear. Kalira stared into the sky. "Your kind was hidden. Saved for a time like this, maybe that's why you're different." Marcus poked at the fire. "I'm just a soldier. I never asked for this." "You didn't run," she said. "That matters." They sat in silence for a while. Then Kalira asked softly, "When this is over, what will you do?" Marcus looked up. "I don't know, maybe go home? Or maybe keep walking." She smiled. "Wherever you go, I hope you don't walk alone." At dawn, an explosion shook the mountain. They jumped up. Grabbing weapons, Draken soldiers had followed their trail. 3 air bikes flew over the ridge, scanning the area. Behind them, a larger transport ship hovered, blocking the sun. "We need to run," Marcus said. Kalira pointed to a small cave. "There." They rushed into it just as lasers struck the ground where they'd stood. Rocks fell behind them, blocking the path. The cave was dark, narrow, wet. They moved quickly, following the sound of wind through tunnels behind them. The enemy dug through the rock. They won't stop, Kalira said. They want me dead. They want power, Marcus replied. And you stand in their way. After a long climb, the cave opened into a huge chamber lit by glowing blue crystals. In the middle stood a strange device stall, round with chairs around it. Marcus walked toward it. This looks like a terminal. Kalira sat on one of the chairs. It's a message station. My people once had these. Used to call home through deep space. Can you send a signal? She shook her head. The Draken are jamming all standard channels. Marcus looked at the machine. Then maybe we don't use standard channels. He sat down and placed both hands on the glowing panel. The room hummed. The crystals brightened. Suddenly, his mind filled with light and patterns. He didn't understand them, but something inside him did. He focused. A deep tone rang out, pulsing through the mountains. Far away, satellites turned. Signals broke through. Back in the Virulent Empire, a beacon lit up. The princess was alive. Outside, the cave. The Draken realized what was happening. They charged in, blasters ready, but Marcus wasn't done. He slammed his hand on a second panel. The crystals flashed red dot outside. A powerful shockwave burst from the mountain AUMP pulse. Draken ships fell from the sky. Their tech shut down. Lights died. Only the ancient systems remained powered. Kalira stared at Marcus. How did you do that? I didn't know I could, he said, sweating. I just felt it. Now, free from the chase, they moved quickly down the valley path. The last part of the journey was ahead, but they both felt different. Kalira was no longer just a princess. She was a survivor, a fighter, and a leader. Marcus was more than a soldier. Now he was a symbol of something greater. They reached a waterfall that marked the edge of Virulon land. A beacon tower stood nearby. Kalira pressed her royal crest into a stone plate. The tower lit up. Moments later, Virulon ships descended from the clouds, sleek and glowing. Kalira looked at Marcus. This is it. Home. He nodded, unsure of what came next. As guards stepped out to welcome her, Kalira stopped them. He comes with me, she said. But he's human, one replied. He is my shield, she answered. And my guide. Marcus followed her aboard the ship. Inside, royal doctors checked her health again. Advisors rushed in with news. Kalira gave orders calmly, strong and sure. Marcus stood quietly in the corner, watching. Later, Kalira found him on the ship's viewing deck. Stars drifted by outside. You look lost, she said. I've never seen anything this beautiful, he said. She stepped beside him. You belong here more than you know, he turned to her. I don't know where I belong, she smiled. Then stay till you do. The royal Virulon ship flew over silver clouds, fast and silent. Inside, Princess Kalira stood tall in a new uniform. Her armor was polished, and her royal crest shone on her chest. She no longer looked like a lost girl now. She looked like a leader ready for war. Marcus Hayes stood beside her, dressed in clean combat gear given by her people. He still carried his human rifle, scratched and worn, a reminder of all they had survived. Kalira looked out the window at the green valley. Below, we're close. My family's palace lies just beyond the River of Stars. Marcus squinted. River of Stars? She smiled. It's what we call the giant river that flows with glowing minerals. It's beautiful, but today it may run with blood. Why? Troops are gathering at the border. They think I'm dead. They see me alive, they'll panic or attack. Marcus nodded, and we make sure they see you. The ship landed on a small hill above the river. The air was thick with heat. Strange purple flowers grew along the banks, but peace didn't last long. A Virulon scout ran up. Princess, enemy ships incoming. Kalira and Marcus climbed the nearest rock tower to see. Black Draken dropships flew across the sky. Hundreds of enemy soldiers marched below them, heading toward the palace. They hadn't seen Kalira's return yet. They want war, Marcus said. Kalira clenched her fists. Then we give them a choice: retreat, or face the truth. She turned to her guards. Signal the palace. Prepare for my arrival. Marcus and I will delay the enemy here at the river. The guards hesitated. Your Highness, it's dangerous. Marcus stepped forward. She's not asking, she's leading. Using old scout tunnels, Marcus and Kalira reached the edge of the river where the Draken troops were expected to cross. There was a small stone bridge, the only safe way across. Marcus studied the area. We hold them here. They take the bridge, they reach the city. He set up traps, hidden wires, smoke bombs, and sound lures. Kalira took position on a ridge. With a blaster rifle, she knew the terrain well and used her royal crest to activate hidden defense stones in the ground. They waited soon. The sky darkened as Draken soldiers arrived, marching in heavy boots, led by Commander Vosk, a tall, armored figure with glowing red eyes. He raised a speaker device. Surrender the human and the imposter. The princess is dead. Our lies wrapped in fear. Kalira stood tall on the ridge. She activated her voice amplifier and shouted, I am Kalira, daughter of the Virulon throne, and I live. The soldiers below froze. Vosk's voice boomed. No, you were destroyed. Marcus raised his rifle. Sorry to disappoint. The Draken charged. Smoke bombs exploded. Blasters fired from both sides. The jungle shook with battle cries. Marcus fought like a storm. He moved between rocks and trees, firing with sharp aim. He took out enemy scouts, dodged laser fire, and used every trap he had built. Kalira fought beside him, shooting with deadly grace. She hit targets with every shot, her eyes cold and focused. Together, they were unstoppable. The Draken pushed harder.
Our one enemy got close.
But Kira stabbed him with a hidden blade from her boot. Another tried to flank Marcus's, but he used a fire trap to burn the path. Hours passed. Still, they held the line. But then trouble came. A heavy shockwave hit the ground. A new ship landed, larger, darker. From it stepped a massive figure. General. Draken, war hero. He marched forward, holding a hammer that crackled with lightning energy. Marcus frowned. Big guy. Kalira's eyes narrowed. Dangerous one. Threx pointed his hammer. Surrender now or be crushed. Marcus looked at Kalira. I say we crush him. They stood side by side as the enemy general marched forward. Threx swung. His hammer. The ground cracked. Marcus dodged left, while Kalira fired shots to distract him. But Threx was fast. He slammed the hammer down again, knocking Marcus into a rock. Kalira rushed forward, slashing with her blade. Sparks flew. Threx roared and knocked her back with a punch. Marcus struggled to his feet. His ribs hurt, but he wasn't done. He picked up a metal spear from a fallen soldier, ran forward and jammed it into Threx's power pack. Sparks exploded. Turned to strike Marcus, but Kalira jumped on his back and fired into the pack. Again. Boom. The hammer exploded in Threx's hands. He fell to the ground smoking. The battlefield went quiet. Draken soldiers watched in shock as their strongest warrior fell. Kalira raised her voice. Your war is over. Go back, or face the full force of my empire. Some soldiers dropped their weapons. Others turned and ran. The bridge was safe. An hour later, Virulon ships arrived. Troops poured out to secure the area. The flag of peace was raised again above the river. Marcus sat on a rock, holding a cold pack to his ribs. Kalira walked over. Still alive? Barely, he groaned, but worth it. She smiled and sat beside him. You saved me, she said. No, we saved each other. She looked at him seriously. My people are waiting. I must go to the palace soon. There will be talks and hard choices. He nodded. You'll do fine. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Come with me. Marcus blinked. What? To the palace. Stand beside me when I speak. Let them see you. A human, a protector, a friend. He thought for a moment, then smiled. All right, let's show them what we've built. Later in the golden halls of the palace, thousands gathered. The queen stepped forward, tall, regal, with eyes like Kalira's. She opened her arms. My daughter has returned, and with her, the human who defied war, fear, and death. Kalira stood proudly with Marcus beside her. She raised her hand and said, "This is Marcus Hayes, soldier of Earth." He did not see an alien. He saw life worth saving. I owe him my life, and so do you. The crowd clapped. Some cried. Others whispered. The queen looked at Marcus. You are no longer just a soldier. You are a symbol, Marcus said. I only did what was right. Kalira took his hand gently. And that is why it mattered. That night, the stars over the palace shone brighter. The war was slowing. Peace talks had begun. But more importantly, two people from two different worlds had changed everything. Together. The great palace of the Virulent Empire glowed under the twin moons. Beautiful music played in the royal garden. Flowers from many worlds bloomed in the soft lights. It was a night of peace, a night the galaxy had not seen in years. Princess. Kalira stood on the high balcony, dressed in white and silver. Her crown rested lightly on her head, and her eyes looked out toward the stars. She had returned home. Her people had accepted her return with joy, and her name was now spoken across systems with respect and pride. But she wasn't alone. Beside her stood Marcus Hayes, the human soldier who had carried her through fire, jungle, and war. He wore a dark formal uniform, cleaned and repaired, with the Virulent crest on one sleeve and the Earth's flag on the other. He didn't feel like a guest anymore. He felt like he belonged. Kalira spoke softly. The galaxy is watching. Some still doubt, but today, no one fired a weapon. That is a start, Marcus nodded. That's more than most wars get. They watched as a group of ambassadors walked into the palace below. Leaders from the Draken clans, human diplomats, and even neutral traders. Tomorrow, peace talks would begin. Not fake peace, but real negotiations, with Kalira at the head. You've changed a lot, Marcus said. She turned to him, smiling. So have you. Later that evening, Marcus walked through the quiet halls of the palace. He passed soldiers, servants, alien nobles, all nodded with respect. He found himself in a small gallery filled with star maps and old paintings. A large window showed Earth, far in the distance a glowing blue. Kale Ira entered quietly. You're thinking about home? Marcus didn't look away. Yeah, it's strange. I've done my duty. I should want to go back, but part of me isn't ready to leave. She stepped beside him. You have given so much. No one would blame you for going home. He turned to her. What if I want to stay? Kalira's voice was soft. Then, stay not as a soldier, not as a guest, but as part of something new. The next morning, the grand hall was filled with voices. Leaders sat at a round table. No one stood higher than another. Kalira sat at the center, her head held high. Beside her sat Marcus, silent but strong. The Draken ambassador, old and proud, looked at them with sharp eyes. Why should we believe this peace will last? You are young, the galaxy is not. Kalira answered calmly. Because I lived the war.
I bled in the jungle.
I saw hate up close. And still, I was saved by someone I was taught to fear. She looked at Marcus. This human risked everything, not for power, but for a stranger's life. If we can do the same, we don't need to teach our children the language of war anymore. The hall fell quiet. Then the Draken ambassador said, Slowly, then let this peace begin with truth. We will stop our march and open our ports for the first time in 50 years. Others nodded. Some even clapped. It had begun. After the meeting, Marcus walked outside to breathe. His head was full of thoughts. A Virulent officer followed him. Corporal Hayes, a transport from Earth is waiting in orbit. You are clear to return. Marcus took the message chip and held it in his hand. He didn't open it. That night, Kalira found Marcus on the palace wall. The stars stretched forever. Ships passed in the distance, some Virulon, some human. Earth is calling, she said. I know, he replied. But something tells me I've already found what I was searching for. She smiled. So what now? He took a breath. I want to help you rebuild, train your soldiers, bridge our worlds. Not done here. Kalira reached into her cloak and pulled out a small silver ring with a glowing blue stone. This is given to those who carry royal trust, she said. It is a mark of alliance, mark of home. She handed it to Marcus. He accepted it slowly, deeply moved. I don't have words. You don't need them, she said. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. The virulent empire began working with human engineers to rebuild broken cities. New schools opened, teaching both alien and Earth languages. Draken ships began flying peacefully through neutral zones. No shots fired. Marcus led a new training program for joint defense teams. Humans and aliens trained together, learning each other's ways. And Kalira, she was no longer just a princess. She was becoming something greater, a ruler of peace. Everywhere she went, her people cheered. And when Marcus stood beside her, they cheered even louder. One day, as the sun rose over the silver towers of the capital, Marcus received a message from Earth's United Council. It read, "To Corporal Marcus Hayes, your service has gone far beyond duty. You have prevented a galactic war and opened a new age of peace. Earth honors you. You are free to return with glory, or remain as Earth's first ambassador to the Virulent Empire. The choice is yours." United Human Command. Marcus looked at the message for a long time. Then he walked to the throne hall, where Kalira was speaking with her advisors. When she saw him, she stood up. "Well?" she asked. He smiled and held up the message. "Earth offered me 2 roads. I'm choosing the one beside you." She stepped forward. "Then I choose you too." From that day, Marcus Hayes was no longer just a soldier. He became Ambassador Hayes, the human who saved a princess, stopped a war, and helped unite 2 worlds. Kalira ruled with wisdom and heart, always remembering the man who once gave her water in the ruins of a broken ship, and together, they didn't just survive, they built a future. Final words: the princess was lost. The soldier brought her home, and in doing so he changed the stars.